Welcome to Little Bracket of Horrors, the pod that puts the fight in fright. Welcome back to the show, everyone. I'm Derek.
I'm Shelly.
And we are Little Bracket of Horrors. And today we're getting into our final film of the third season, The Witch.
Woo!
Whoop, whoop. And at the end of the show, stick around. We're going to be doing the bracket building. So if you guys want to listen to that, make sure to tune in to the end. But yeah, Shelly, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I am good. We it's been a week. I know we usually talk about scary things that happened or watch something scary, but I haven't really watched anything. I've just been busy with Ian's soccer stuff. Carrie's parents are in town. I did try to watch, speaking of Robert Eggers, I did try to watch The Lighthouse two nights in a row, and I fell asleep.
Yeah.
I was a tired boy. You can't go. I don't think you can go into an Eggers movie being tired.
No, absolutely not.
So
there's a lot of nothing.
So there's a lot of downtimes and stuff, and I just passed out. I got to the scene. I think Robert Pattinson was mutilating a seagull of some sort, but yeah, I still have to finish that. But yeah, how about you? What about you?
I watched Nosferatu. Speaking of Robert Eggers,
here we are.
But it's an Oscar-nominated movie.
Yes.
So I had to watch it. Unfortunately,
Did you watch it on Peacock?
I did. So it was like the extended.
Oh, good Lord!
It's so long.
I don't know why that needed to happen. I saw it in the theaters and I enjoyed it. I liked it, but you felt the length of the film.
Did you watch it again on Peacock?
I did not, but I saw that it was extended cut, and I was like, "Why are we?"
It was already long, and now you're like, "There's more."
I was like, "Why are we adding laps to this marathon?" It feels unnecessary.
Stupid.
The story was very full before,
Yeah.
so I don't know why there's additional stuff. But okay, so
I watched that.
Yeah.
And then not much else. Had a cold the past few days.
Yeah.
That's why I sound like a raspy bitch.
It sounds cool, though.
I'm not really a bitch, though.
No, I wouldn't say that.
Well, some people would argue, but
It's all about perspective.
I know, right? If I'm a bitch, you probably deserved it.
What did you do? What energy did you put out to get this?
Right.
Yeah.
It's probably on you if you're getting my attitude.
Yes. Water break.
We're just like heathens tonight. Fuck the noise.
I know. Edit. But yeah, you want to just get into the
I want to
witch?
get it. Yeah, because we got to do bracket
We got to
shit.
do the bracket stuff.
So
all right,
let's talk very little about the witch.
All right. So first segment is Dig Up the Bones. And that's where I introduce the movie and give a brief summary. So The Witch is a 2015 folk horror film written and directed by Robert Eggers. Other credits include The Lighthouse, The Northman, and Nosferatu. Music by Mark Corvin. Other credits include Black Phone, The First Omen, and Don't Move. Cinematography by Jaron Blaschke. Other credits include The Northman, Nosferatu, and Knock at the Cabin. Production design by Craig Lathrop. Other credits include American Psycho 2, All American Girl, The Devil All the Time, and Nosferatu. Special effects coordinator is Max McDonald. Other credits include Alice Darling, Scratch, and The Silencing. Production companies. We got Parts and Labor, RT Features, Scythia Films, Pulse Films, and Special Projects. And then our distributors are A24, Elevation Pictures, and Universal Pictures. Next up, sequels, prequels. We got none. We don't have The Witch 2. We don't have the beginning of The Witch. None of that garbage. So we just have The Witch. Moving on, our budget, $4 million. Box office, $40.4 million. Moving on to Rotten Tomatoes score, 91% on the tomato meter and 61% on the audience popcorn meter. Moving on to our cast, we have Anya Taylor-Joy as Thomason. Other credits include Last Night in Soho, Marrowbone, and The Menu. Next up, we got Ralph Ineson as William. Other credits include The Green Knight, The First Omen, and Nosferatu. Next, we got Kate Dickie as Catherine. Other credits include Prometheus, The Northman, and Time Stalker. Next up is Harvey Scrimshaw as Caleb. Other credits include Adult Life Skills, The Devil Outside, and The School for Good and Evil. Next up, we got Ellie Granger as Mercy. Other credits include TV series Eve, The Village, and Coronation Street. And rounding out our cast, we have Lucas Dawson as Jonas. Other credits include none. He was done with Hollywood after this movie. He was but a small boy, but he was done. And moving on into our synopsis for The Witch. In 1930s New England, English settler William and his family are banished into the wilderness from their Puritan settlement over a religious dispute. When their newborn son Samuel vanishes under the watch of their eldest, Thomason, the family begins to unravel and turn on one another. And that is The Witch. We landed on it last week. It was one of my choices. Shelley, how did you feel? I don't think you saw. Or
I've seen it.
You did see it in the theater, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
so
fell
how'd
asleep.
you feel? Yeah. I feel like I remember you saying
Robert
that.
Eggers.
It is.
He just puts me to sleep.
This was my choice.
It was.
Did you want to say anything else before I jump in?
No, I just Robert Eggers films put me to sleep.
Yes. I did not see this in the theaters. I actually watched this when we started the podcast a couple years back because I wanted to play a catch up on recent films that I may have missed since Ian was born and I wasn't watching a lot of films. So I checked this out. I think I watched this when I had COVID. And I was blown away by it. I thought it was awesome. I loved the authenticity of it, and I was excited to talk about it. All right, so next up is Feasting Fiends, and that's where we get into our topics of pros, cons, characters, dialogue, and then we finish it off with our favorite kills/scares. So, Shelley, give me your pros, if you don't mind.
Oh, sure. I can go
Politely.
first. Yeah, I would love to. I would love.
Please, the floor is
to go.
yours.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
How was the pillow when you took your nap?
Oh,
Was it nice and
gosh.
cold?
No, I watched this at work today. Which is like a great choice. I'd already seen it, so
yeah, you
I
have
just played it on
background.
the background, and I flop my phone face
Yeah.
down sometimes. I do love the dialogue and how authentic it is.
Yeah.
A little hard to follow at times, but I'm not going to make that a con. But I do like that he tried to make it as authentic from that time as possible. Very hard to write, very hard to act in that kind of dialect. But it was done very well, the dialogue. I do like the soundtrack, like the music overplaying everything.
Yeah, like the soundscape or
yeah,
whatever.
and especially like
so
the
good.
song that there's an actual song at the end credits, which I really like.
Yeah, I
that
think
song.
it's cool. I agree.
And then I find Robert Eggers can sometimes go overboard with gore, and I think he did it perfectly in this movie.
Yeah, I was restrained a little bit.
Just a little enough. It wasn't a movie where you needed a ton.
Mm-mm.
And it all seemed pretty practical too, which I'm always going to give props to.
Yeah.
So, at one point a throat kind of gets slit and the blood kind of spurts out a little bit, and it's just very well done. It's not green screened or anything like that.
Yeah, it's not, we just watched Dead Snow and there's a ton of blood spraying everywhere now, but this was it was
for what
more
it
grounded.
was.
It was more grounded, yes.
Based on the subject matter, it's what it needed to be, and I thought they did it well. So
yeah,
those are my pros.
Awesome. So for me, I thought great story. It was simple and right to the point, and we weren't provided, a lot of exposition, and I don't think we necessarily needed it. All we needed to know, we found along the way. And I love that this turned out, and, spoiler alert, but this is a spoiler podcast. But I love that this turned out to be an actual witch movie. Like, a lot of times you'll watch movies and they'll lean into the fact that people during this time period were just crazy. And that's not what this was. They gave us a witch movie that was a really witch movie.
And the family didn't leave the community that they were in because of a witch issue. It was a religious issue.
Exactly. There's a dispute. Yep.
He took his family away from the main community, which is even further they're from England.
Yes.
So they were with a community on American soil, I guess it was called.
Yeah.
Then.
Yes.
Pilgrim land. I don't know what they called them back in the day.
Plymouth Rock.
Plymouth Rock, maybe.
Everyone lived in Plymouth Rock.
Just Massachusetts. They were in Massachusetts. So they left that community, that whatever they were within, to the rural area that they ended up in. just because of disagreements.
Yes,
so
exactly.
it wasn't like they were being banished for being witches. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the movie's called Witch, so you know which is going to be involved.
Exactly.
However, it wasn't like this person's a witch.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of presented differently, which I did like.
Yes, yeah.
I don't know where I was going with that, but
I know the time period of this movie took place like 60 years or something before the witch trials. So maybe this was like the beginning of all that when there started to be those speculations and those accusations against neighbors. So I think along with the authenticity, I could see, this being a jump off point for that, that crazy time period in America. But so great story. Just like Shelley said mostly, but production I thought was amazing. I felt like I was transported back to the 1600s, between the set design, the building of the farmstead, I guess, and then like the lighting, the use of like natural light and candlelight I thought was amazing. Costumes were great as well. There was that shot in the beginning in the courtroom when they showed like the men on one side and the women on the other. And everyone just looked like the picturesque, like Puritan community. And I thought the costume work was great. And then just like Shelley said, I think the score was amazing. I loved just like the spooky choruses and just like the building of the volume of it to just like build these evil moments, and that you knew something was, something dark was coming around the corner. And then the last thing I will say about a pro about this film is the children performances. I thought the children actors did a stellar job for what they're responsible to shoulder, especially Ellie Granger and Harvey Scrimshaw, who played Mercy and Caleb. In a period piece where you have this dialogue that is rooted in authenticity, I think it's easy for that to be ruined by like kids overacting. So I thought the kids did a great job, and I was thoroughly impressed. And those are my pros. Shelley, let's move on to cons. What do you got?
Contrary to what you said, it's so dark I couldn't see it.
I actually, that's a great point because I had to mess with the tint on my TV.
My phone was on the highest brightness, and
Yeah.
I still couldn't. I had to and then I tried to use my hand, but that still had reflection.
Yeah.
So I had to hide my phone in a shadow and held it just to see scenes. It was so dark. I was thankful for the candlelight, like you said.
Yes.
Once there's a shine on
There
someone's
it
face, I
is.
can at least see their face.
Exactly, yeah.
But it was so dark. And I don't get why. Why do you have to make it? You have a choice.
Uh-huh.
Make it so we can see it.
Yes.
I hate it when it's that dark.
That's a great point, though, because and just to jump in real quick, so when I watched it, I knew at the end there was, Black Phillip takes the form of the devil, and he walks behind Thomason, and I was like, I can't see him at all.
You can't see anything.
So I had to mess with the brightness, and then the next time I watched it, I was like, oh, good, he's right there. So that's a great point. That's a fantastic point. Yeah.
I hate the child nudity. I think it's not necessary to do a horror film. That baby could have been in a cloth. Both.
Yeah.
All of it. I thought there was way too much young kids naked. Now, Caleb's naked scene was a little bit more discreet.
Yes.
And I know it was just a baby, and, back then that wasn't a big deal, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you were, in that day and age, you probably saw kids walking around like that.
Yeah.
It's such a hard topic. I don't want to, even skew any lines.
But it can be uncomfortable.
It's very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I don't find you could have stuck that little baby boy in a cloth diaper.
Mm-hmm.
And still alluded to the castration that was happening. Because clearly he was castrated, right?
He was
he was killed.
He was
killed.
turned into baby muck.
Yeah. So, because she was rubbing him all over. But
I know, that hand, I was like, whoa.
Yeah. So it made me very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I thought it unnecessary. I thought it added nothing to the movie. And I guess if you're going for making people having that visceral feeling over it, yeah, I had a visceral reaction, but not in it's hard to explain because I'm trying to is there a time where I could have a visceral reaction like that? And I'm like, oh, good job. I mean, maybe I watched the movie Anora last night.
Anora?
Anora.
Okay.
It's a Best Picture nominee this year, and it's about a stripper who meets a Russian guy and ends up marrying him and what happens from there. But there's a lot of scenes, like sexual scenes, strip club scenes. It would be visceral to some people, but it kind of added to like the story you're watching.
It was part of the story. If
Right.
That's what her job was. Yeah.
Right.
I see that.
Well, and it also, you know, seeing her in the world that she lives in, right? It adds to who her character. There was character building aspects of seeing those things that kind of make you uncomfortable, right? It built her character story. Whereas these kids being naked, how did that build anything to the story? Except that these witches are that bad, maybe. But, like, you never really even see the witches enough to, like, have a chance to understand their character arc. You just know there's this evil spirit.
Yeah.
And the goat talks to people.
Yeah.
So I guess that's,
few.
if I had to make a comparison, or, like, this is the point I'm trying to make. It's okay to have visceral reactions to things in movies, but do it in a way where it is like the movie needs it or it's good for the movie. I just don't think this was that.
Yeah.
Done. Last con.
Done.
I just don't like Robert Eggers movies.
Okay. Did you feel like that before going into this because of your experience with... did you fall asleep in the theater as well?
Yeah.
You just knew you were getting into a slow burn. Or
yeah.
You already knew what
all
you were
his
getting
movies
with this.
have this like lack of nothing. These scenes that just have nothing.
Yeah.
Nosferatu. I can't help myself.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
It first of all, it was Bram Stoker's Dracula, just done differently. I've not seen the silent movie. My dad watched it before he went and saw the new Nosferatu, and he said it was very much like the original film, just now with words, and of course with Robert Eggers like to it.
Yes. Painstaking work.
Right.
Yeah.
I just like everyone was a character from Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Yeah.
I love Bram. I love Bram. Maybe I'll put that on the wheel next year.
Ooh,
I love Bram Stoker's
Dracula.
Dracula. Oh my gosh, it might even already be on my like potential list for next year, just because.
Oh, have you started building? Great.
Right. Well,
yeah.
and that's how much I like that movie, Dracula. I have Dracula.
Yeah, Dracula. Yeah.
So, but maybe that's like the original Dracula. Either way, I really like Bram Stoker's Dracula, the movie version. I know it's a book, but at the same time, I'm going on a tangent. I just think he does more than what needs to be done. Anyways,
he makes it more of like a history lesson.
I've seen The
Lighthouse.
Lighthouse. I fell asleep during The Lighthouse.
Yeah.
I watched Nosferatu. I fell asleep during Nosferatu.
Yeah.
I've fallen asleep to almost every single movie this man has done, and it's because there's just these lulls. And why don't you want to keep me on attention? Like, what are you doing to keep me into this film? To Honora, that movie was over 2 hours long. I didn't fall asleep, and usually if I'm gonna fall asleep, it's at night when I'm sitting on the couch watching a movie or something. So
yeah.
Anyways, I just don't like Robert Eggers.
I hear you.
So that's my
and
that's
he
my
is
complaint.
not. He makes the same type of movies.
All of them have the same look.
Yeah.
Sometimes the same actors.
A lot of the same actors.
Yeah.
William Dafoe is in like everything now.
Yeah, except The Witch, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. It's just not my favorite. I'd rather watch something else.
Fair
so
point.
There we go.
All right, so my cons, much like you, it was a little low action, and I felt, and it's not a long movie. Like this is the
thank
this
God.
Is the,
it's actually pretty short, and it
this is the
still had
shortest.
lulls.
And that's
Sorry,
what
I didn't mean to scream, but I'm very passionate about that.
I like it.
Very passionate.
You
Sorry.
should be.
Sorry, go ahead.
But I agree. I think you feel every bit of the hour 32 minutes that this movie is, and for it not being a long movie,
and I had to rent it.
Oh yeah,
stupid.
I bought it from Viper Video as I posted on our
social. Shout out Viper Video.
Yeah, which was great. We've got from posting that thing on Facebook.
Well, you made him a contributor. Well, you had to be careful.
Well, if it's
don't make people contributors if they don't want to be.
And I talked to the guy when I went and bought it.
Oh, okay,
I told him I was
okay.
like, we have a podcast. I'm like, I'll share you out and like I'll tag you guys. And he's like, oh yeah, do all that.
Okay.
So yeah,
I was just making sure you knew that.
No, I wasn't.
Sometimes you don't want to do that.
I'm not a willy-nilly man.
I'm not just gonna willy-nilly contribute anyone.
But yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
And I didn't have it as a con, but I think the lighting, even though I overall it was a pro for me. That moment at the end when I knew that the devil was in that scene,
the baby scene, that was dark when they were in the woods.
It was all dark.
It was all dark.
But even though I enjoyed the natural lighting and the use of the candle lights and how it made me feel like I was in the room, there were moments when I could have used, like, just cheat a little bit and give me a little
don't
something.
understand.
Yeah.
Make it like an infrared shot or something. I don't know. At least make it. He loves black and white. Just make it fucking black and white.
That's very true. All right, so yeah, that takes me through my cons. Not a long list. Let's move on into characters. How'd you feel, Shelley?
I love the animals. One had my name.
Oh, yes.
The dog's name.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, because my name actually stands for, back in the olden days, in old very London, England, or whatever, Europe, the royals had a person working for them called Fowlers.
Okay.
So it was probably spelled differently, but they were the ones who handled the hawks and the birds on the premises.
Cool.
So that's where my name originated from.
Yeah.
This dog clearly was like a hunting dog, so I'm wondering if they called him Fowler because they're from England, London, kind of like, and he hunted. So
Catherine's talking about how she's homesick for England. So
England,
yeah. Not too far removed.
So I liked Fowler.
Yes.
I like the goats.
Yeah.
they're great. Black Phillip.
Black Phillip is
Shout
the best.
If I had to pick a human actor to like, definitely Tomlinson.
Yes.
Are we saying it's Anya?
Anya
Taylor-Joy.
Yeah.
She was very young. She from this to like what's the Menu was the last thing I saw her in.
So good.
She's grown up so much.
Yes.
But she was still really good in this movie, and I think
really good.
held her own.
Yes.
For the tough subject matter that had to be done in this film. I hate the children actors, and I know you love them.
No.
I hate, now Caleb aside, Caleb and Tomlinson, they're not part of this statement, okay? Yes. The children actors that Robert Eggers cast in his film are the ultimate most annoying things that I have ever heard. These two twins, like shouting, and I'm just like, shut the fuck up. Just shut up. They're just loud all the time. They're loud and screaming. And I'm just like, and if I hadn't just watched Nosferatu, maybe this wouldn't bother me so much. Okay. But those two little girls in Nosferatu that ultimately get killed, which was great.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not. We don't care about spoilers here.
That whole family gets
right. They get not.
Maybe we should be. Yeah.
I don't know if we even finished watching it. Maybe we did. I don't know. So they are in this scene and they're going, "Papa, Papa," and I was like, "Oh my god." Yeah. Did anyone give them acting classes? Like, stop yelling weird things, or they're just like, be a kid. So is that the acting? Yeah. Be a kid, Papa. I just hate it.
I liked when Thomason gave it back to Mercy by the crick, where she was like,
"Fuck Mercy."
Yeah, she was trying to like scare her, and Tomlinson's like, "Nope,
fuck Mercy.
I'm gonna scare the shit out of you."
Caleb and Tomlinson were great.
Yes,
I hated the twins. I just, like I said, maybe if I hadn't just watched Nosferatu, where those kids annoyed me, and when Nosferatu came through that window and just had their heads, I was like, yeah. Anyways, maybe I wouldn't have such a passionate feeling about the small children in this film.
Could be.
But I think I have some regressed feelings. Maybe I need to talk to someone about it. But
you went in with a mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And those are my character thoughts.
I like it.
The end.
So overall, I think for a small cast, it was pretty powerful. You know, save Jonas, who barely said anything except for the Papa scene. Everyone had a role to play in this movie. Thomason was, our focal point. I thought she was amazing. I love the scene, which will also lead into how I feel about William. But I love the scene when she roasted him for being the one who, he was dishonest to Catherine about the cup. And Catherine came at Thomason with all that spite. I loved when she undressed him and threw it back in his face. And with William, I saw William as the reason for this whole movie. His sinful pride was the whole thing that pulled the family away from the village. And with that, I think opened the door to this evil entity, this evil witch, and Black Phillip to come and infiltrate the family. They used I think Black Phillip used the twins as like a plaything and a toy and like a communicative tool. And love Black Phillip. With that said, when I first watched this movie, I felt an appreciation originally for William, but then on this second time around, I caught those things where I was like, oh, like he's lying to his wife and he's throwing his kids underneath the bus about it. I was like, oh, like what a fucking shit character. So I had kind of like a
Very
180.
gaslighty.
Yeah, agreed. I had a very 180 move
Yeah.
on William.
Throw
so.
the kids under the bus and then come for
Yeah.
the kids.
And that's the thing too, because he was very comforting and like understanding and trying to like make them feel better about the situation. But it was like, you're causing all these issues with Catherine because of you not telling the truth.
Yeah.
So I had a 180 on him. And then favorite character was Caleb. I thought that his monologue, which is in my dialogue, I love that.
I have that one too.
You do? I also have the twins Black Phillip song.
That's stupid.
But regardless,
Stupid.
I thought Caleb was pretty noble. You know, he
was trying.
Yeah, he was at least trying, and he was going out to hunt and trap, and ultimately it was a bad choice because that's when he got taken by the witch. But I think his want for the family to stay together and not to have Thomas instead away, really, really noble of him, and it didn't work out. So yeah, that was my thoughts on the characters. Moving on into dialogue. All right, so we both have the same part.
Yeah, I have Caleb's like end dialogue.
Yeah,
his last bit.
Yeah, I thought it was great. I think originally I saw that it was taken, like Eggers took that straight out of some sort of manuscript,
like fairy tales and stuff like that.
And it was fantastic. And he did it really well. But please.
So Caleb goes, "Cast the light of countenance upon me, spread over me the lap of thy love, wash me in the ever-flowing fountains of thy blood. Holy thine I am, my sweet Lord Jesus, my Lord, my love, kiss me with the kisses of thy mouth. How lovely art thou, thy embrace, my Lord, my Lord, my love, my soul, salvation. Take me to thy lap," and then dies. And he also did it almost in a feminine voice.
Yes.
Contrary to how he talked normally in the film.
Yeah.
At other times, it was almost like it was the witch speaking through him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that was definitely the thing, because there was a conversation between Catherine and William that he said the Lord's Prayer. He's not damned, and she's like, witches speak in Scripture as well. Yeah. Which I think leads to your point that there was a feminine energy to how he was delivering that prayer. So I think that's a great point. This movie has a lot of like, obviously, wouldst thou like to live deliciously?
Yeah.
Wouldst thou like to taste butter? Like that whole scene was great too. And I think, with the dialogue being like error accurate, I think it's an enjoyable dialogue. If you have, and I did have subtitles.
Oh.
I did have the subtitles on, so it was helpful in those moments. Which I think is a good move when you're watching a period piece and someone's trying to be as authentic as possible. Yeah. But yeah, that's my dialogue stuff.
Nice.
Let's move on into kills and scares. What do you got, Shelly?
Yeah, the scares were not too effective in this film. I feel like, sometimes when it's not like, boogeyman type movie, it's kind of like, hey, here's the scare.
Yeah.
But I did enjoy the kill of Black Phillip killing William.
Yeah, that was
probably
great.
my favorite kill.
Yes. It was a jump scare, too, because he just walked outside.
Yeah.
Saw the shed, a complete shambles, and then out of nowhere gets gored.
Black Phillip.
I know.
Just
got him.
Horns him.
Actually, Ralph Ineson got messed up in this movie. I think he had like a separated rib.
Oh.
He had to go to the hospital at least once through Black Phillip just wrecking him.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I don't know if that's in your fun facts, but
no, it's not.
I remember someone saying that Robert Eggers actually hated the goat.
Yeah. He's quoted as saying he
will never work with a goat again or something like that.
He's like, the rabbit was great. He said
all the rabbit had to do was fucking stand there.
He just stood there. Yeah.
Black Phillip had to do lines and shit.
He was talking to freaking Mercy.
And he had to dance around.
Yeah. What a great scene, him running sideways when the kids are chasing him. He just looks batshit crazy. So, I think you get what you pay for. And you wanted a crazy looking fucking goat.
Exactly.
So I, as far as scares, I did like the moment when Samuel was taken in the beginning and there was the whole peekaboo scene. But that scene is more about the work of Anya Taylor-Joy and her facial work. Just because in that moment, you see the fear and desperation in her face when she realizes I just had my eyes on him and he's gone. What the fuck what am I going to do? So I love that moment mainly because of her work. But one of my favorite scares in this was actually when Caleb found the witch in the woods, and she was like this very attractive lady, and he gives her a kiss, and out of nowhere, just this gnarly witch hand grabs his face. And I was like, oh, shit. That was a good move. That was a good decision, and I think that was an awesome, scary moment for this movie. Let's move on into Final Cut. And this is where I tell the ending of the film, and we discuss and give our ratings of 1 to 5 stabs. 1 stab, no redeeming value. 2 stabs, bad. 3 stabs, mediocre. 4 stabs, good. 5 stabs, deliciously. Look at you.
Stupid.
Say stab.
Don't trust a hoe.
There it is. There it is. What's that band called? 30HO?
303.
I don't know.
30HO.
I don't know.
303.
I'm a dad. All right, so the ending of this movie goes as follows. Banished to the shed, Mercy, Jonas, and Thomason awake in the middle of the night to find the witch appearing as a naked old woman drinking the blood of a nanny goat. She turns towards them, laughs, before attacking the twins off-screen as Thomason watches in terror. In the house, Catherine has an hallucinatory vision in which Caleb and Samuel have returned. She takes Samuel and nurses him, but in reality, she has exposed her breast to a raven, which proceeds to peck away at her bosom. At dawn, William finds the goat stable destroyed, the goats eviscerated, the twins missing, and an unconscious Thomason with bloodied hand. As she stirs, Black Phillip gores and kills him. As Thomason is checking on William, an unhinged Catherine blames her for everything that has happened and tries to strangle her, forcing Thomason to tearfully kill her mother in self-defense. Now alone, Thomason enters the goat house and urges Black Phillip to speak to her. The goat responds in a human voice and offers her the life she desires. When she accepts, he materializes into a handsome black-clad man, tells her to remove her clothes, and sign her name in the book. Thomason, accompanied by Black Phillip in his goat form, then enters a forest nude where she finds a coven holding some sort of shindig around a bonfire. Then the witches...
Isn't there like an actual name for it?
Probably. I don't know.
A ritual or something?
A hoedown.
Hoedown.
Don't trust a hoe.
Don't trust a hoe.
And then the
Shindig.
witches begin to levitate. Thomason joins them, laughing hysterically as she ascends above the trees. The end. Shelley, you made it to the end of The Witch. I'm also going to give the assist to your work. So how'd you feel about the ending?
I mean, it was fine. I think it does its job. There was no, like, in particular angry feelings about it.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. For me, I was... Like I said in the beginning of this whole podcast, I liked that this turned out to be a witch movie, and I liked that it was supernatural and it was bleak. No one except for Thomason survived, and depending on how you feel about Thomason, it could have been a happily ever after, because now she has a family of witches. So I was happy with it. I thought it was a good ending. But with that, let's move on into our stabs. Shelley, what do you stab the witch? The vitch.
I'm going to give it a 2. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. It's no, like, Henry or anything like or Italian Job.
We've watched worse than Henry. Italian. Oh, New York Ripper.
Oh, thank you.
Italian,
not the
we will never see
not
eye
the job
to
with
eye.
the minis driving around. The Mini Coopers. What's the movie that we watched with
the Italian Job?
The Italian Job. What's the movie we watched with the Jesus-looking guy?
The Jesus-looking guy?
That we drank during that episode.
Oh my God, The Visitor.
Yeah, that too.
That was like a 2 hour 15 movie. That was a long movie. Yeah. Matt was ready to bail on the podcast after 4 episodes.
Quitting, yeah. He was quitting. We had to be like, don't quit yet. Yeah. Next season will be different. He still quit.
If
you're listening, Matt, fuck you.
Yeah, quitter. Go play in your band, your rock and roll star.
Whatever. So a 2. I mean, yeah. I just don't like Robert Eggers' films, so I can't give it a 3. But it could, yeah. It just depends where it falls on the bracket. But I'm gonna give it a 2. I'm gonna give it a 2.
I think you go with your gut.
Yeah,
and your gut's saying 2.
Yeah,
that's
like it.
Yeah. So I put this on the wheel. I love this movie. It is a slow burn, like I said. So I can't give it a 5. But I do give it a 4 8.5. Yeah, that are our stabs.
That
Those be our stabs.
stabs.
I'm watching too much old English movies. I don't know how to string sentences together.
The old stabs.
So next up, which I feel is going to be a very, very short segment.
Yeah.
Voices from Beyond. And this
I don't know. Is that a detriment to
to
film?
this, it could be. It's not streaming.
No.
Everyone's got to rent it, so that could be the case.
Maybe, but like even people like I threw it out to my
I did too.
non-podcast friends who've seen lots of horror movies and
No
one
one said anything.
cares.
Well, what was it, a 91% and 61% with the audience meter. So this is it's not a slam dunk movie for a lot of people. So we didn't have. I don't think we had anything, right?
I had 2.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah, Voices from Beyond.
Nice.
So Roger R says, "Love The Witch. It's an evil little movie that fills my evil little heart with joy. Eggers came out with a gem and hasn't stopped since. 4 stabs."
I love you, Roger. Great share.
And then Ed Taker of Left Socks on TikTok said, "Fine, I'll rewatch." But that was it.
I know him.
So I
was
just
like, "That's all you
those
gave me?"
That's it.
Oh, that's so funny. All right, so thank you, everybody, a.k.a. Roger, for those voices from beyond. But
fuck you, Roger. Eggers suck. We're fighting.
Moving on into loose ends. And this is where we just share any fun facts or last thoughts. So I got a couple fun facts. Shelly, did you want to?
No, just that me and Roger are fighting. And he's a hoe.
What are the stipulations of the fight? Are there
He likes Robert Eggers.
Weapons? No weapons?
No, we're just fighting. We just
fist
don't
fight?
talk to each other.
Old school. Like it. Nice.
Just don't talk to him.
I won't talk to him?
No, I won't.
Oh, okay.
Silent treatment.
All right, fist fight between Shelly and Roger. Pay attention to our socials, and we'll be posting those videos out. All right, so a couple loose ends I have. Interesting facts, I should say. The spelling of the title with the 2 V's is how the word was written in the story's period because the letter W was not yet in common use at the time. So W came later. It wasn't that popular back in 1630s. Next up, we have, according to Robert Eggers, he did not direct Harvey Scrimshaw through his most difficult scenes in the film. Harvey played Caleb. But in those scenes, Scrimshaw was directed by Ralph Ineson. Eggers had no children at the time, while Ineson was a father of 2 and frequently worked as an acting instructor to children and knew much better how to coach a young boy. According to Eggers, Ineson used Scrimshaw's passion for soccer and coached him like Scrimshaw was preparing for a high-stakes football match. So that's pretty interesting. Ralph Ineson, fantastic dude. William, fucking terrible father. So the Satanic Temple has endorsed this movie and hosted several screenings of the film. Their spokesman, check out this name, Jex Blackmore, addressed the film as an impressive presentation of satanic insight and will inform contemporary discussion of religious experiences. And the last bit of fun facts I have is Bathsheba Garnett, who played the witch, had some difficulty preparing for the scene where her character eats baby Sam. Her acting technique is usually trying to find even one redeeming quality in her character to add layers of depth to them, which is almost impossible for her as she is playing an inhuman monster eating a baby. She eventually succeeded by getting into the mindset as a hungry individual who eats a cute baby because she sees it not as a living creature, but as an object she must consume to survive. So thank you, Bathsheba, which is an interesting name for a lady to play a witch because that was the evil entity in The Conjuring, Bathsheba.
Oh, was it?
Yes. So those are my fun facts.
Fun facts.
And out of our segment, our brand new segment, the Loose Ends.
Brand new?
It's been brand new this season.
Oh, okay.
Out of nowhere.
Okay.
So
I have no service on my phone.
Oh, I thought you were like trying to take a video or something over there. I was like, what the hell is Shelly doing?
Service.
All right, so that takes us through The Witch and our 3rd season. It's time that we get into our deathmatch tournament bracket building. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
I had a thought.
Yes.
You pull it out of the
just
bag,
okay.
and I write with the better handwriting.
I love that you know.
Do you want me to just write one, or
just
you?
Do, yeah,
okay.
just do one, and then I'll copy it.
And just send me a copy.
Yeah, and then I'll go on the Google Drive and I'll update everything.
There's a Google Drive? I don't think I have access to it.
It's through our email.
Is it?
You should be able to, but I can just
email
send it to me. Yeah. You don't have to go through all that madness. So we're going to start building the brackets right now. We're starting on the left-hand side of the bracket, and after we get all done with this, we're going to post it up with all the movies in their slots. So if you guys want to go ahead and grab it off that, just do that.
Let me stress how important it is to have our fans submit a bracket to us this season, because it is just the two of us this season. We use your brackets as other votes.
Yep.
And so if it's just the two of us, there might be issues with tiebreakers.
Exactly.
We might be flipping coins, which then is not fair.
Exactly.
To the movie. I'd rather have a 3 to 5 brackets total. If we could at least have 3 fans fill out a bracket
if
for
we
us.
get more, great. But
yes, at the minimum, so we don't have an uneven number or an even number. We don't want an even number. We don't want ties.
Yeah.
So Derek will post up what the bracket is, fill it out, scan it in, take a picture of it. Just take a picture of it and post it in one of your comments.
Yeah.
And share it with us.
However you want to share it. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll take, if you want to text it, email it us at Little Bracket of Horrors and all that stuff.
Yes, 1,000%, especially this year with it just being us.
We can't have ties.
We need the tiebreakers, and you guys
That
are.
or we're going to have a third person on. Maybe we need to have a third person for the final episode.
We could.
Possibly.
It could be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Ready.
we're starting on the left-hand side.
Left-hand side. Number 1 is going to get a bye.
Number 1 is a bye.
It's a bye.
And number 1 is, drum roll, dash cam.
Oh, fuck.
Dash cam
if
gets a
any
bye.
movie didn't deserve a bye, that was it. Sorry.
Our listens would say otherwise.
It's so weird.
It's England. They love the movie in England. All right, so dash cam's getting a bye at the number 1 spot.
Stupid.
Number 2 is The Witch.
Oh.
The Witch at the number 2 spot on the left-hand side.
Number 3.
Number 3, digging my hand in the bag, doing my due diligence of grabbing paper. Ooh, Sleepaway Camp. Sleepaway Camp at number 3. Wowie. Wowie. Those are 2 5s for me right off the bat.
And then 4 and 5.
No, I gave The Witch 4.5. Sleepaway Camp I gave 5.
And then 4 and 5 are technically buys too.
Yes. So number 4 is The Babadook. The Babadook at number 4 on the left-hand side. Next up, also a buy, but going up against The Babadook, is 30 Days of Night. Josh Hartnett with his terrible hair.
Wasn't that bad. Number 6 is a buy.
Number 6 is a buy, and it is Lake Mungo, which was a Shelly pick. Shelly picks. Shelly pick on the board. What's the next spot?
7 and 8.
So, at number 7, we have Saint Maud. The great Saint Maud. And at number 8, on the left-hand side, we have Triangle. Melissa George.
And then 9 and 10, which are technically buys, but they'll go up against each other.
So, at number 9, we have Children of the Corn. Stephen King. Remember him?
I remember. Although I don't think I recorded this episode, did I? No, I did record this one.
That was the one you recorded, and then I had to re-record because I
was like, I did talk in this one.
You did, but you didn't
and
make
then
the final
poor
cut.
Carrie had to translate my notes. Sorry, I embellish. I write one word and then I embellish.
Yeah,
I'm really good like that.
You're off the
improver.
cuff.
I'm an improver.
Improved. So at number 10, we have Alien, which I believe was a Sherry?
Yep, that was a fan pick.
Fan pick.
All right, we're moving to the right-hand side in number 11, which gets a buy.
Number 11 with a buy is Scream.
Okay. 12 and 13 are next.
So at next, we have Frozen. That was
not with Elsa and Anna.
not I Will Build You a Snowman, or however that song goes. Do you want to build a snowman? Would you like to build a snowman?
I do like building snowmen.
When's the last time you built a snowman?
Never have.
Okay. I'm just laughing because of the next movie we have. Next up, we have The Stuff.
I really wish Dead Snow went up against
Oh,
Frozen. That would have been funny.
That would have been perfect, actually.
The Stuff.
The Stuff.
Can't get enough of the stuff. All right, 14 and 15, which technically is a bye, but they're going to go against each other.
All right. So 14 is Paranormal Activity. At 14, right?
Yep.
All right. And at 15, I'm picking these out of a bag, people. Ooh, X. We got X at 15. Just the letter.
X.
Or number.
I did it.
If you're Roman.
Or the number 10. 16 that gets a bye.
16 that gets a bye. Ooh, Event Horizon.
Okay.
Shelley movie.
Okay.
We had our friend Jason on that one.
Yeah.
The Aussie Jason. All right. So
Yeah. No, yeah. You're no. Sorry.
did I send you that stand-up bit
Probably.
by Shane Gillis where he talks about Australian goths?
No, I don't think you did tell me that.
All right, moving on.
Yeah, no.
All day I dream about death. So what?
17 and 18.
All right, so at 17 we have The Haunting. That was a
was my
Steve.
My dad.
Daddy. Shelley's daddy. That
That's
sounds weird.
I feel. Ooh.
Yeah, you should feel weird about it. Don't not feel weird about that. Next up, we have Behind the Mask.
If you didn't feel weird about it, I'd
Then
be concerned.
We'd have to have a talk.
Behind the Mask.
The rise and fall.
I'm
and
just
everything
writing Behind
and
the
everything
Mask.
in between of Leslie
Leslie
Vernon.
Vernon.
All right, so what spot are we at next?
19 and 20, which technically get a bye.
Ooh. So 19 is Street Trash.
Oh God, that feels so long ago.
Well, that's The Stuff. Feels very long ago as well.
Yeah.
And our final movie to go up against Street Trash is Dead Snow. Well then,
that looks like
that's
a
already
show.
that's been decided already.
Right.
All right, so
Unfortunate.
as we said, the brackets will be posted up on the socials. Share it to us, however, but please do share it to us. We are in desperate need of your guys.
Yeah, so we
to
just don't
contribute.
have two voices.
Yeah.
We need another voice.
Yep, exactly. So if you'd like to be a part of the final say on which movie wins the season, please pay attention to our social media pages where we'll be sharing the link to the bracket, and you can fill it out and share it with us however you please. You can find us on Facebook and TikTok by searching Little Bracket of Horrors, and on Instagram by typing at Little Bracket of Horrors. If you listen on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please give us a rating and review if you like what we do. You can also buy some merch. We have it available at tpublic.com. Just search for our name in their website search bar or pay attention to our socials for a direct link. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. I'm Derek.
I'm Shelly.
And we will catch you on the other side. Oh, yeah.
All right, I'm done.
That was me back in the day.
I know you guys were straight edge.
Very. I almost got a straight edge tattoo.
I'm so glad you didn't.
It would have been a time and place. It would have been a story.
Nah.
Yeah, I mean, I have.
Where would you put it on your dick?
It was gonna. No, what? What? What would it as my first tattoo. It's a little over the top.
What if your straight edge tattoo was just getting the X's on the back of your hand?
People have done that.
I'm sure people have it.
That was not me. I wanted to. So I still am huge AFI fan.
Yeah.
And the one song they have a chant through our bleeding, "We Are One."
Yeah.
So my concept was I was gonna have a graveyard, and there were gonna be like X's on the tombstones, and there was gonna be a zombie fist that punched out of the ground with like an X carved into their hand, and it was gonna say.
And that was gonna be your straight edge.
Yeah, through
tattoo?
our bleeding, we are one. Yeah, that was my idea. But I was too scared, and I was like 19.
And look at your body now.
I know. Well, this all happened when I hit 30. Like this happened first, and then this happened, and this is still happening. I'm getting my Krampus tattoo next Friday.
When are you getting the Shelley tattoo?
It needs to it needs to happen up
the
here.
Raspberry
the
lemonade.
Raspberry stain. Actually, I could ask. I could ask.
Hey,
Kyra.
can you just put a raspberry
Kyra,
blob?
Just put a raspberry blob on Ash's chainsaw over here.
Too funny. Raspberry lemonade.
And then I will need an arrow pointing to it, and it's saying raspberry lemonade.
Lemonade.
Just so people know.
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, see you later, everybody.
Are you
recording?
Probably. We won't include that.
Yeah, don't worry.
But I want to hear you say, what were you saying?
Don't trust a hoe.
Trust me, it's. I'm sure it's gonna be popping up.
And just be like, don't trust
Yeah. No, I'm. Shelly's got. Don't trust a hoe. It's gonna happen. Just
Yeah,
organically.
so hopefully,
organically in
I'm
the
gonna
episode.
say
Yeah.
a lot.
There's a lot of hoes in this movie.
Oh my God, lack thereof. Yeah. All right.
Cool.
Ready?
I am.
We're gonna record it. You recording with us? No, just the two of us. Okay.
Do you want to join us?
No, I didn't watch it. It was really loud and like tons of noises and then like tons of things were happening and I was like, I
Tons of
don't
things.
wanna watch this movie.
Yeah.
Tons of things.
So many
Did you
things.
watch Traders last week?
Yes.
Do you want to do a side podcast on the traders?
We should do. There's a couple of them.
I'll just produce it. You guys
Really,
go.
really shocked that they did not vote Danielle out.
All right.
Love you guys.
Love you too.
Love you more.
I'm gonna force myself to go to the gym even though I don't want to.
Go.
There's Top Golf donuts.
Oh, the little ball donuts you fill with
Yeah.
the stuff. Yes.
I know the donut.
We all know.
There's what? No, I'm good. I'm going home and eating. I gotta get home to Chiletta's meds too.
Oh yeah, the sweet doggo with the anxiety and
Yeah.
depression.
I didn't brush my teeth.
Okay. Cool.
No one cares, Carrie.
Next time.
Everyone wants a dirty mouth.
Next time.
Next
And you
time.
made out with him with that dirty mouth?
Tasty. A day's worth of Carrie. Bye.
All right, let's do this.
Let's do this. All right. You did see it in the theater, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
fell
how'd you
asleep.
feel? Yeah, that's. I feel like I remember you saying
Robert
that.
Eggers.
It is.
He just puts me to sleep. If I want a good nap, I just turn on a Robert Eggers film. I fell asleep during Nosferatu. It scared
It's
me.
a ghost. Carrie ghost.
But she brushed her teeth.
Oh, she's giving kisses now? Do I get it? Are you going to kiss me on the mic? That was so loud. It's going to pop some speakers. And amongst some other things.
I love you too.
I don't feel like she told me she loved me.
I did. I said I love you guys. And
Oh.
She really didn't look at me, so I
Oh, okay. All right. That's fine.
I'm looking at my phone, and my phone's in my face just
I
like
know.
her family.
I know where I stand in the sister-wife pyramid. I'm way at the bottom. Way. In the basement. So, anything to say before we call this thing for the day?
I love you.
I love you more.
All right.
All
That's
right.
it.
I'm excited about Warped Tour.
Yeah.
I'm excited to hang out in the
Hang
hot
out.
hot Florida sun.
That's why we got VIP tickets.
Yeah, I know.
Listen, we're too old for that.
Listen, yes.
But I know.
Let us listen.
I know if me and you want to go like ska to less than Jake and get up there and get in there.
Skying. Let's go
Let's go skank a little bit. Me and you will go like skank in the pit and kick some people.
No lies. I listened to like Less Than Jake when I was in high school and stuff like that, and like Suicide Machines. I have recently, and I knew of like Catch 22. I don't know if you ever heard of them, but
Yeah.
they turned into a band, Streetlight Manifesto.
Okay, I've heard
Which-
of them, but I haven't really listened to them.
I've been on a Streetlight Manifesto kick,
Yeah.
which is just hilarious that in my 40s I'm getting back into ska.
Yeah. I love ska.
So you saying that is funnier to me. But let's Jake,
we'll go skank a little bit.
I like it.
But I'll know you'll get into the pit with me. So.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
We'll
do-si-do.
elbow some people.
We'll do-si-do.
I like how at the same time we both kind of like shimmied.
Shimmy, do it, yeah. All right. So
I just think also it's going to be a ton of elder emos. And when
like
we went to the Offspring concert in the pit,
you and Roger.
everybody was very respectful.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
oh, that was your spot here. Get your spot. Back in the day, forget about it.
No, yeah.
You left your spot. That spot was gone.
20-year-old people are dickheads.
Dickheads.
Yeah, it's very short-sighted. They're not seeing that we all have to get to work tomorrow. Let's just have fun.
The best we all do.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's enough on that.
All right, cool.